r/AskReddit by Redmond Dts. What's a common trope in movies that never happens in real life? Living in an enormous apartment in Manhattan while you are a bike messenger and your roommate works at a coffee shop. Shoot the gas tank of a car once and it explodes into a huge fireball. And similarly, shoot a person in the shoulder and it's no big deal because there's nothing important there. Shooting off a padlock with a gun. Unless it's made of really cheap unhardened steel, a bullet impact is just going to make it deform internally and become even more locked. Turning on the news at the exact moment the plot relevant portion is on. And then shut the TV off. Don't keep listening for updates or more details, no. Typing a few things into the computer and magically hacking into extremely complex systems. The lack of considerable paperwork from any police action movie. It is hilarious how they invert this in Hot Fuzz. Heroic music, dramatic camera angles to highlight the necessary paperwork. Pulling a fire alarm and the sprinklers start pouring out water. Also, the water inside those sprinklers is disgusting. I always like to tell this story. A sprinkler right above a cow walker failed and it shot water down all over him and his desk. It was the nastiest brown rusty disgusting water that was sitting in those pipes for years and years. Yet every movie and TV show has clean and clear water. There was that episode of The Office where they have all the candles lit and that sets off the sprinklers. Nice clean and clear water. Side note, all the stuff that got wet and was ruined was never mentioned. The fire department has to come and shut it off, so how long were they going for? Villain wastes time instead of killing the protagonist right now. Reminds me of the Austin Powers take on this, when Dr. Evil leaves him to die. What, aren't you gonna watch him die? No Scott, I'm leaving him in an easily escapable situation and just assuming everything goes according to plan. A rando person with no prior training etc. is selected for a special task at which he later succeeds. Sometimes, just sometimes, women throw up because they are sick, not just because they are pregnant. And they only throw up once, in the morning. They never actually show how it can be an all-day thing. Wake up from coma, out of bed and return to normal by next day. No bone or muscle atrophy, etc. Coming home from shopping with my French bread and celery greens poking from the brown paper bag. My daughter and I play this game. When we leave the store, we have to have something sticking out, or we didn't officially go shopping. Zoom in on that tiny fuzzy image of the suspect. Now make it clearer. A few keyboard clicks later. Here is your crisp clear image of our suspect. 100 bad guys versus the hero. Bad guys come at him one at a time. Always. Parking available in front of the building the character needs to enter. That never happens, ever. Firing a pistol inside a car or small enclosed room and no one has any lasting hearing damage. Guns, especially handguns, are ridiculously loud and when the sound bounces off enclosing walls or objects, it's amplified greatly. There's a small number of instances where it is portrayed regularly, but it's super rare. Linda Hamilton actually got hearing damage because she forgot to put her earplugs back in after a break during the hospital elevator scene in Terminator 2. Bruce Willis got it in Die Hard. The scene where he is under the board table and fires at the terrorist and says thanks for the advice. Being under the table echoed the sound and made it worse for him. Guy is in the middle of shaving and his wife walks in and they start talking. He takes a towel and wipes off all of the shaving cream into the towel to talk to her. First off, who ruins a perfectly good towel by wiping shaving cream onto it? Second, who can't talk and shave at the same time? They wipe their face clean and it's not half shaven. I have always been so annoyed by the fact that no one ever says goodbye on the phone in film. It's wild. They'll be like, so we'll see you tonight. Definitely. 8 o'clock right. Yup. Hangs up. In real life I'd be like, what the hell, that was rude. Hawk making noise every time they are shown. One does not wake up pretty, refreshed, and their hair done neatly, and the blankets are also still tucked into the bed. L-shaped sheets, they always cover a woman's boobs, but only come up to the guy's waist. When I'm chasing someone in my car and they're on foot, they don't typically run down the middle of the road like in movies. The nerdy unpopular bullied girl suddenly becomes sexy just by taking off her glasses and everyone accepts it and loves her. In movies, cats never do any crazy stuff. This is why the movie A Quiet Place pissed me off so much. She walking around the city being quiet, meanwhile her cat is absolutely mute to the crazy stuff happening around her. It's a movie where people trying to stay quiet in order to not die have a baby. Quite possibly the loudest thing to exist. Also, how are you raising a toddler without them having at least one random meltdown? And nobody snores? I just assumed anyone who snores was killed off soon after the initial invasion. I once heard a film producer say something like, you can't direct a cat, they don't know what a movie is. All you can do is follow a cat with a camera until you run out of storage and hope there is enough usable footage to make a movie out of it. The one friend that is revealed to be a traitor but then does some great act of redemption and the protagonist forgives him. Any instance at all where a character is able to navigate through ductwork. Getting knocked out. In real life, you're either semi-conscious and up within 10 minutes, or you're brain damaged or dead. People don't have an off switch. But it's like so convenient for storytelling. This trope has actually gotten people killed because they expect a head blow with a board to just put someone to sleep for a while. Unlimited amount of gears in a car. The playboy who manipulates women into bed and then dumps them will suddenly become the ideal man once he meets the right girl. Casually surviving an explosion by diving behind a car or a trash can. That's not how physics works, my dude. Yeah, jumping off a building and landing in a trash truck full of clean soft garbage. Walking into a bar and saying, I'll have a beer. And the bartender just serves a random beer without asking what brand. Running into your ex at the exact moment you're on a perfect date with someone way hotter. In real life, you just see them when you're hungover, in sweatpants, buying junk food. If vacationing a foreign country, make sure you see all of the landmarks in a couple days, even though in real life it would be impossible. For example, in Australia, they see the Opera House one day and the Great Barrier Reef the next, even though it's a 27-hour drive. A single cough means you have a terminal illness. When the edgy female lead is rude and dismissive of a guy, he will continually keep coming back to her until she begrudgingly admits she likes him. In real life, guys just say what a dick in their head and move on to a girl who is nice to them. They probably think bitch though. When someone pulls a sword out of a sheath and it makes that metal scraping sound. You wouldn't have a metal on metal scraping, that would ruin the blade. Sheaths will be leather and not make a sound when you pull your sword out. Pour down on their luck. Person living in New York City has their own apartment. No roommates. Alpha male type people that get out of the emergency room by just pulling all their wires and tubes out, grabbing their clothes, and walking out. Snapping someone's neck. I'm so glad this is actually very hard to do in real life. Because watching movies as a kid made me think it must be easy, and I had to watch out for it. Like quicksand. Tires squealing on dirt roads. Endless bullets without reloading. Money is almost never an issue, even for the rare broke character. My dad calls those types of tires Hollywood tires. Guns having unlimited ammunition. Or tossing your gun because it's out of ammunition. Or picking up random ammunition that works on your gun. Or shooting a gun and your ears not hurting like a mofo. That's all folks. Thank you for watching. If you like videos like this one, why not like and subscribe for more. Have a nice evening.